I'm Michael Isaza.
And I'm AJ Gurdage.
And this is our user experience of ColorBrine, with some gameplay accompanying it, because we're not playing it right now.
So, we wanted the user experience ColorBrine to play kind of like Smash or a Samurai Gun-like experience. Fast-paced gameplay with a lot of diversity and ways to play it. We really wanted it to be a couch kind of game to play around in, where you could sit down with your buddies and play. Really, as many people as we could get to play, the better. Just have a really fun multiplayer party kind of style.
Mm-hmm. It's really easy to learn too, which is something that I think a lot of people will enjoy in party games, because you don't want to really spend time learning how to play a game for too long, otherwise you get really bored. And which also ties in for it to be really easy to teach to other people who don't really know the game. It's not a very complex game, but that's what makes it fun for parties.
Yeah, we really wanted the focus to heavily be on that fast-paced gameplay, though. So we spent a lot of time trying to make the user experience about that speed and having it as quick as possible. We wanted speed of movement, speed of action, focus. We did a lot of changes to the game specifically just to try and make it faster and more fluid while the player played.
And you can see that in our game right now, just us jumping around the map with ease, which is the biggest part. It hardly takes any prior knowledge to learn the things that me and AJ are doing in this video, like wall jumping up the walls multiple times, or just like delaying our double jumps and all this stuff, and running.
Yeah. And from what I've seen, we're only using 3 controls. I mean, we're using movement side, A to jump, and right button to hit. Mm-hmm. So as far as learning the game goes, there's nothing to it. You just jump in. We also want it to be a huge game where you could brag to your friends about how well you did, or just trash them absolutely.
We'd started to notice that a lot after we would play test the game, that whenever we were done, I think there'd be about like 10 minutes afterwards where me and AJ would just trash on each other out of our performance when we played the game, just like you would do in a board game when you win.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of different ways to do it. It's a good game to have those moments, and this is what we wanted. We wanted the game where you had those moments where, like, oh, do you remember this when I kicked your butt in this way, where I ran around the corner, jumped off the cliff, did a backflip, and slashed you in the back.
There was also one that we talked about for a while, where it was, I think it's later on in this video, where I jumped down from a really high place and he just nicks me in midair, and I didn't hear the end of that for a while.
Yeah, that was my color. I couldn't even see myself. I just knew.
Yeah, it was.
I'm still getting trashy for you.
But it's also like the fun of the bragging rights ties into like how we play our own play styles. We see that a lot in fighting games, like we would mention Smash Bros. You could have the same character and 2 people can play it entirely different ways.
His Falco versus my Falco, same character, but it's completely different play styles.
Like, for example, I think after we made this video, or this clip of this video, I was telling him, like, I play a lot more defensively than you. I tend to stay in my own color shadows and just wait for you to come by and I'll kill you while you're very aggressive.
And that's kind of funny, because right now in the video, you can actually see a bug we're trying to work out where the sword got stuck. And Michael struggles heavily as soon as that happens, because his goal is to kind of hide and stay away. And I'm super aggressive, so as soon as his sword got stuck, I was tracking him down.
Yeah, I couldn't hide anywhere, which really sucks, but that's like AJ said, that's something we're gonna fix. AJ, talk about your playstyle more in depth.
My playstyle is super aggressive. Right now I believe I'm the white player. I will chase you down. It's my color, it's your color. It does not matter to me. I'm coming after you. I know exactly where I am. I will track you down.
And you can see in the video, I'm just running away the entire time. And those are the things that we like to talk about, and that we think the user will talk about after they play the game, is just how differently they play the game compared to their friends, even though they have the exact same controls. For example, someone could play like really defensively, like camp an area, or someone else could just spam, I think there was a couple times when we first started playing this game where I just keep clicking the hit button because I didn't want to move around, I just wanted him to come to me.
Yep. And it's also interesting because this map, we discovered over time, is really based around an aggressive playstyle, and that's why Michael has to run around a lot, because he can't hide. He's currently the black player, and he can stay in the fan for a little bit, but it's interesting because typically white will stay in the white area and try and hide, black will stay in the black area and try and hide, but the black area's moving around, so Michael has nowhere to hide, and I don't care what color I'm in, so I'm just going to chase him down. So it leaves Michael at a huge advantage here. Or, sorry, disadvantage.
Yeah.
Where I'm just constantly going after him.
Something we didn't get to play test. We never really got to figure out how the user would feel during team play. Team play, you can do team play in this game. We just never had
We
people
never could get enough people to do it, and I only own one controller.
That was the part where you hit me out of midair.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and then the bug happens again.
Oh man, we're still working on that bug.
We say that every time.
Yeah. My fault, I broke it.
So we haven't really done much team play, but we would think it'd be fun because now you get to share that, or you get to have someone who can help you in the game and really vary up the different play styles. And so we were talking about like some play styles that could happen, like maybe like people would have a player that would bait while the other one hides in the shadows and kills.
And there's also like the item grabber one where they're just specifically going after the item boxes and using whatever's in them.
Yeah.
Lots of different playstyles you were able to. What we didn't actually have was somebody who played defensively. You play very passively. You like to hide.
I would move around. I'd never stay in one spot that much.
Exactly. But you moved around. We didn't have anybody who just stopped and stayed in one area, backed against a wall, and tried to fend everyone off.
Mm-hmm.
I do like what Michael was talking about earlier, though, about the idea of the team playing, like ganging up on somebody or having a distraction character while the other comes out from the shadows to kill. We did get a lot of playtesting done. We actually did throughout the entire part of the development, but it was all in 2-player environments where it was just 1v1s. Both with me and Michael, obviously, but we had plenty of other people, everything from what Siege had people playing as, to just friends of ours that we got to play the game.
One thing that you also mentioned about the dynamic light, that map always changes, but maps like that play a huge role in how how you interact with the map with your given play style. With that map, I had to move around in conjunction with the fan when I was the black player. Other maps like the ones we're going to show you right now, I think right now we're showing that you can have the same player.
We were showing that you have to have both teams, at least one player in it, in order to play.
But for example, like I was saying, this map's a lot more parkour-y, I think, at least, than the other one, because there's a lot more. There's blocks placed in a very deliberate manner, rather than the factory one where it's placed kind of sporadically around.
Right.
You know?
Well, I think there's only one item on factory, but overall we have 3 different maps in our current build. The first map we played in is a medium-sized map that really is hyper beneficial to move around, and it's perfect for running around, parkouring, and hiding and jumping over things. There's a lot of movement that goes on. This map is a bit more streamlined, but it has the same kind of premise. It's a much smaller map, so it's easier to go and track down whoever you're after, but it still focuses on a fast-paced movement play style. And then there's the factory, which is a dynamic map, which is completely different from the others, where the map is constantly changing, so your movement is based on the actual, like, where's the light currently at, and what can I do here in a second, rather than just waiting it out or anything like that.
And one thing that I think that the users will like is, no matter how big we make these maps, the camera's always going to focus in on the action, no matter what. And you can manipulate that camera too while you're playing. Like here, I'll like keep that camera high and then have it drop down, and I'll be out of screen for a sec, you know.
Yeah, and that was part of the user experience of the fast-paced playstyle for one, but also what we didn't quite realize at first when we learned was that part of that feeling of playstyle, the speed of the play, is that not only does it depend on how fast you're moving, how quick the gameplay is, but the camera itself, the fact that it focuses in on that action, really makes the game feel much more intense and quick.
Yeah. And it's just a really, really fun game to play. I don't think we've ever been mad at playing this game while playtesting it. We've had a blast.
Yeah, we never got tired of it or anything. And it's fun even just to honestly run around, and with the new actual spinning jump, the second jump, it's fun just running around, jumping off walls and everything. And we spent a lot of time getting that to feel right, where you would just run around and have fun. It didn't have to be just the combat that was fun.
A lot of people playtesting that one. The movement is very, very good. Yeah, it went through a lot of steps.
A lot of things went through a lot of steps, but the movement was definitely one of the biggest.
Yeah, so I guess that about wraps it up. We don't really have much more to talk about.
No, in summary, we really wanted the game to be a Smash-like experience or a Samurai Gun. where it's you and your buddies sitting around on a couch, playing and kicking each other's butts to get bragging rights. But we want it to be fast, easy to get in and out of, easy to have new players join the party. Just something to really expand the multiplayer arena style games currently in the market, I guess.
We're still going to be continuing developing it, but
Not in Capsule. We'll be doing it as a side project.
yeah, yeah, definitely not Capsule. But yeah, that's been ColorBrine.
So thank you very much for watching.
It's been a fun year, so see you later.